We're all excited about the fact that we can get more data, that we can get data that's more believable because it's like this many shoppers from this customer saw this, piece of content and acted this way.
I'm Stephanie Paterick, Editor-in-Chief, and here in the current studio today, I have a special guest. Rachel Lawson is Director of Shopper Marketing at Mondelēz. She's got a lot on her plate, but she's here with us today. So happy for you to join us.
Happy to be here.
So tell me, what has surprised you most this year? Is there a trend, a news story, an insight that has maybe changed your own personal call to action and how you're going to go into 2025?
I think as marketers, I've been grew up being very precious with my brand or very precious with the role I had. What I've recognized this year is we all love marketing. We all really want to drive the best results we can get. And once we start really teaching each other and talking to each other, I think it's really made our marketing campaign stronger. So I don't want to sound cynical, but I think the surprise was how easy it was to actually collaborate with better communication.
That seems like a more recent unlock across the board. Yeah, and sets up 2025 to be a different kind of year.
It does. We're right now we're planning for 25, and I approached the planning season totally different.
What do you think the shift has been?
One, I think retail media. So we're all excited about the fact that we can get more data, that we can get data that's more believable because it's like this is the shopper. Like you can literally say, this many shoppers from this customer saw this, piece of content and acted this way. So I think having that information created a new opportunity for us.
Yeah.
And then also a lot of our retailers have gone out of their way to really stay at the forefront of advertising. This is a huge shift for them. And so there's lots of opportunities to kind of test and learn. And that's one thing that Mondelēz absolutely loves to do, and I do as well. It's kind of try to figure out how we can push, content and media to the next level.
Yeah, and it is no secret that retail media and retail data have really taken the industry by storm. For you, what do you see as the greatest promise of retail media?
Two things. One, I see the collaboration that I have as a marketer with the trade team, with my sales team, and with the retailer that we didn't really have before. That's what excites me the most about retail media. It's really kind of upped our education on both sides in terms of the role that media plays in influencing, communicating with the consumer and the shopper. And then obviously the more kind of, obvious answer is the targeting. We really are able to target consumers. I love the fact that I'm able to make sure that I'm talking to people who I know are interested in my products or people I know have never purchased my products at that retailer. So I think the targeting as well as that collaboration has really opened up the doors in terms of making my job more efficient and more effective.
So retail media is expected to grow a lot in the next couple of years, catching up to social media in terms of spend. What challenges do you see, if any, to that growth?
Resources. So I think the biggest one is that's kind of the pull we're in right now in terms of budgets really aren't getting bigger.
Yeah.
So, or for the most part, they're not getting bigger. So it's really kind of how do we make sure we're being as clear to our goals as possible, continue to redefine the roles of different levers that we have, and having strong analysis.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to ask you a question that I ask everybody. What is your hot take on advertising?
My hot take is, I think we all know this, but we sometimes forget how important it is to have diversity, not just of thoughts, but actually of background and experience in advertising. That was really kind of popular, kind of buzzy a couple years ago, and the buzz is kind of worn down, but it's still really important to have empathy with our consumers and recognize how diverse our consumers are. And I really think we need to make sure that we're continuing to ensure that we have that diversity throughout the advertising cycle.
Yes, diversity cannot be a trend that comes and goes.
Exactly,
right?
exactly.
How are you approaching your work or your team in a way that brings that to the fore?
A couple of ways. One, being more collaborative. So I've offered up to my teammates and to others. I can always be a sounding board. If you are communicating something or going after a target and you might want, a Black woman's perspective, I can provide that. And I try to seek that out as well. I also share and provide my comments and thoughts openly with my advertising teams, just to make sure they understand and are hearing my point of view. And I do ask questions in terms of, well, who's working on this content? I kind of do remind people that it is important that, for my own team, but for other teams, it's really important that we do have a huge variety of voices at the table.
Rachel, thank you so much for joining me in the studio today. I've really appreciated all of the insights you shared.
Thank you for having me.